This is what I get to do for a living. Isn't it unbelievable?
Fantastic.
Hi, everybody. It's Talk to Me Tuesday. It's your girl, Anja. And today, oh my gosh, I have the incredibly super talented, amazing makeup artist. You can find her working out of anywhere from LA to Chicago to New Orleans and even Paris, France. She's also on the set of movies and television. She does magazines. And also, if you're one of those people who are getting married, she can also hook you up as well. She is amazing, and I've been keeping my eye on her since our college days. So please help me welcome my girl, Jackie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. So, how did we even get here? Because when I met you, I feel like you were not necessarily on this path. You were in school for something else, and you took maybe like a hard pivot and went full blown makeup artist. So let's run the tape back. How did we get here?
Oh gosh, it was like 18 years ago. I started at Columbia, and I actually as a theater major. And while I was a theater major, I took a stage makeup class, not thinking anything of it. At the time, there was no Instagram, there was no like social media. Then I switched my major to film. And while I was in my film classes, a lot of people asked me to do makeup for their films. And I remember just being like, no, I really don't want to. Um, but then, of course, I finally started doing it. It was kind of fun. I was good at it. And somebody was like, you could get paid to do this. And I remember thinking, people get paid to do this? Like, I had no idea it was even a career option. Um, and because Columbia is a full-on art school, they let me take as many makeup classes as I could. I was doing it for the theater department, for the film department, for the dance department.
Cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. So it's almost like I have a bachelor's degree in film with a concentration in makeup, even though it doesn't really do anything for me professionally. But
Right.
that's kind of how it all came to fruition.
So was it one person saying you can get paid to do this, or was it like multiple people being like pushing you towards that direction?
It was definitely like a multiple person thing, like just kind of slowly showing their support that I could do it. There were a couple instructors in the theater department who had a background in makeup who just really believed in me and really helped, me kind of build a career from that, just believing in me and just kind of pushing me towards it.
So when you told your family back home that you were actually probably going to do more makeup than like film or theater, what was their reaction?
There was a lot of shock because people are like, you don't know how to do makeup. Like even now, I don't like to wear makeup on myself, and I never
Yeah.
grew up wearing makeup. And so I think when you say makeup, people don't realize there's also special effects, and there's, a lot of different variations of makeup. So there was a lot of shock because people were like, well, you don't wear makeup. You don't like makeup.
Yeah, so what? You went to college and completely changed? What are we talking about?
Right.
Okay, so you graduate and then what happens? What happens? You look for makeup jobs? You just try and pick up theater or like television jobs? What's that looking like?
Um, when I graduated, I actually went and got a job at MAC Cosmetics in
Okay.
Chicago. And that was where I really like learned the beauty side of everything. Mac was incredible because you learn color theory, and you're constantly practicing on different skin types and tones and textures. And then I moved to New Orleans because everybody went to Los Angeles, and I was like, well, let me go see. The film was picking up in New Orleans. It was closer to home. So I moved with Mac Cosmetics to New Orleans, and didn't have a lot of luck in film there because they were bringing everybody from LA and New York.
Yeah.
I focused a lot on beauty makeup during that time and working at a counter, which again, like I said, it was like practice. So I really enjoyed it. And it really kind of makes me the artist who I am today because of that time.
So how long were you there for before you're like, I gotta get out of here?
So I was with Matt for maybe like 4 or 5 years. And then I woke up one day and I wanted to travel the world, and I didn't have a lot of money. I was 25 and I was like, there's got to be more to life.
Mhm.
Um, Still wasn't ready for the LA journey. So I became an au pair. Like I got a job to be a nanny in France.
Nice.
And that was a very extensive process to get a visa. And there were a lot of up and downs with that. And I remember the trainer for MAC Cosmetics at the time actually pulled me aside and said, "We don't want you moving to France. We want you to stay here. We want to train you to become a trainer for MAC Cosmetics."
Okay.
And so it was kind of one of those crossroad things. And I chose France because I was like, I want to travel. I need to experience this while I'm young and single and have the opportunity.
Okay. So did you end up going to Paris for that?
So I went as an au pair, yes. But then
Okay.
while I was out to photographers, funny enough, there were some photographers from Colombia who ended up
No
in Paris
way.
there. And yeah, we did a photo shoot together. And I think it was like Model Mayhem, which I'm not even sure if that's still around.
Hmm.
Um, but I met a lot of photographers and models. So on the weekends, I was still doing makeup any way that I could.
I love that because you kind of like took that opportunity and like kind of made it your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. And then what? So you're out in Paris, you're like networking, you're doing all of that. Where does life take you then?
Well, my visa was up. I did try to extend it while in the country, and it's impossible to do. So I had to move home. I had
Okay.
all my money just traveling Europe that whole time there.
Mhm.
Um, Actually had to call my brother to buy me a flight home because I didn't save for that. Um, I
Were
moved
you
back.
sure you were gonna stay in France? Were you like, yeah, I'm gonna just stay here?
I, I'll just, stay as long as I can, and I guess I'll leave when they deport me. I don't know, but I wanted to experience all of it, and then I turned around one day and was like, I don't have any money for a plane ticket. Um, so I moved home. I'd moved back in with my parents, like 26 years old, and had $180 to my name.
Mhm.
And then, my husband and I started dating when I moved home. I started doing a lot of bridal makeup, and we have a lot of Mardi Gras on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So I was doing a lot of Mardi Gras and prom and weddings, and it was very lucrative. And before I left, I was up to 50 weddings a year on my own. Plus, I would have 300 Mardi Gras clients in a month. Like it was
My
insane.
goodness, that's amazing.
It was amazing, but it burned me out. And it got to a point where I couldn't really grow. Like that was
Okay.
all I could do there. And so I woke up one day. I mean, we had bought a house. I had gotten to the point where I was like, this is great. I can be close to family. I'm getting older. Um, and then I woke up one day and told my husband, I said, we have to move to LA. It's time. And that was in 2019. So about 9 years after I graduated college, I
Okay.
finally, it's time to go to LA. And so he said, okay, sure. And he's a nurse. So
Uh-huh.
he came and started travel nursing while I was finishing up um, commitments at home. And so I moved out here right when everything shut down in 2020.
What? No, Jackie, are you serious?
Yeah. So I actually had a connection from college days. One
Okay.
of the actors was like 8 years old in a lot of our student films.
Mhm.
Um, and I did her makeup and I got to know her mom and I got to know her. Well, she became a Power Ranger on Nickelodeon, and she was like 19 years old, moved out here to LA same time that we were out here. So I reached out to her. She was supposed to walk the carpet for the Kids Choice Awards, hired me to do her makeup, and in turn the manager hired me to do three other Power Rangers. And it was the weekend that everything shut down and it never happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not where I thought we were going. That was
No,
such a great story. Okay,
I,
so it didn't happen. Do you feel like depressed, sad, irritated? Why am I in LA? Like, did you have all like kind of those negative feelings?
yes, absolutely. And I mean, I know a lot of other people, there were a lot of things that a lot of us lost when the world shut down. Uh, and but I just, as an artist, you're stir crazy. You can't do anything. Of course, I have one of the most personal like
Face
jobs
to
with
face.
like it's definitely the last thing the world wanted us to do at the time. And so I just remember walking around in circles and just feeling so lost. And so like I was like, my timing, like why now after all these years I decided to move here. So it was very hard. I'm very fortunate my husband had a job, but he was in the ICU with COVID, and it was a very scary time, so then you're worried about him because, what's he going through at work, and like, how is this going to affect him? And it was very, very, it was hard for sure. But like I said, it was comforting knowing we were all in it together. I wasn't the
Yeah,
only,
for sure. For sure.
yeah.
So what happened after all of this? Like, when did you go back to work? Was it a slow process, or was it like you got a phone call, you're like, okay, I'm back at it? Like, what's that looking like?
So I will say it is because of the pandemic that I got my first opportunity to work on a film. That same actress I was just telling you about who had done, Power Rangers and stuff, she had gotten cast on a Lifetime film, June of 2020. And she wasn't the lead, but she was like the lead's best friend in the film. And
Right.
she had just, hey, like, what's the makeup and hair situation on this film? And they said, well, we're just going to have somebody doing touch ups. Everybody's going to come as makeup ready as possible, but we'll just have someone. And she's like, well, I'd be more comfortable with my makeup artist if that's okay. And they said, since nobody else voiced any concerns, they called me and hired me because they
Love
had,
that.
yeah, this girl has my back. And she, because of her, I made these connections, and I still work with that producer and director, almost 3 years later, and we laughed about it on the last film we worked at because they were like, "Who is this actress suggesting she should bring her own makeup artist?" And like, and who
Don't
is this?
worry, I have my own. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, "Well, we didn't know who you were," and they're like, "Fortunately, it worked out well because we didn't know what to expect, but we had to,
Trust
respect
her.
her." Yeah, so yeah, it worked out
Okay,
well.
so the other story was a little soul crushing, but it came full circle, and she didn't
Right,
forget about you, and I love that.
so great.
Okay, so on this journey, like any journey to success, like we were talking about hard times, I'm sure outside of COVID, there may have been some challenges that you face with all this makeup stuff. So, how do you deal with clients that are like, no, I don't like this. I wanted something totally different. Like, do you just redo their makeup right then and there and do it faster? Like, how do you deal with like difficult situations?
I've done all of it. So I tell a lot of people, like, any person can do makeup. I mean, doing not any person, but you can have the talent to do makeup. That's great. But a lot of about 75 or 80% of what I do is psychology of what I do. It's the being able to handle people and working with people and making them feel comfortable. Because if you make them feel good, then all of this, the makeup and the hair and all of that, the just helps. But it all comes from within. Happiness and beauty and all of that comes from within. So it's the psychology of making them feel good. And from the moment they sit down, a lot of people, first time I ever meet them, and I tell them that this is the first time I've met you. I don't know how you do your makeup, what you like. Please tell me, like, horror stories you've had or good things that I've had. Like, what do you want from me? And I can sense when I have to walk through it with somebody. I have had a woman, a lot of women of color have dealt with a lot of white women who don't know how to do their makeup, and I
Hmm.
get very sensitive subject. So, that's something I have had women like walk me through it. I have had products like oxidize and get darker, and I've had to take it off. And I will say it before I even show them the mirror. I'll be like, hey, look, this doesn't look good. I'm really sorry. Do you mind if I take it off and start over? Um, so it's just a lot of like kind of feeling the energy.
Okay.
Um, you're working with people who are going on film or on camera, and they're very insecure. I mean, we all have insecurities. Every single person, no matter who you think they are, we all have insecurities. And so you kind of,
Absolutely.
yeah, so you have to learn how to like work with women and understand, like, it's not personal. They're
Hmm.
not telling this because they think I'm a terrible person. They're telling me because they want to feel their best, or they want to. So, the first thing that you have to throw away is that it's not personal. And don't make it personal, and understand, things from their perspective as well.
Do you find, or have you ever worked with guys putting makeup on guys? I know like that's definitely a Hollywood thing. Like, have you had that experience yet?
Yes. So there's a lot of what they call like male grooming. And oddly enough, for makeup artists in film, you're responsible for everything from here down. So that means facial hair, nails, skin, everything. So with men, on camera, like I have to know how to do like their facial hair, keep the continuity going for film. But yeah, any man that you see on a red carpet or on a magazine cover or in a movie, they all have makeup on, every single one of them. But when it comes to men, a lot of it's more skincare. Um, and then I've had some makeup artists assist me who I've been kind of teaching, and I kind of play the, really kind of this triangle. We're covering dark circles, maybe redness around the nose. But other than that, we don't want a full face of makeup. We don't want a line where it looks like the man's skin, is different. So it's less is more.
Okay. So, but do you ever get like pushback from men, like it's too much, or do they kind of trust you and let you do your thing because in the settings you're in?
It depends. I did work on a film recently where there was somebody who was very particular. He had his like he's been in the industry a very long time. And he had his own product and he told us exactly how to do it. And you just do what they ask. Like
Okay.
it's a per basis, like per case, per film, per project. But usually they're pretty chill. The guys are,
Okay. So
they're
like,
pretty,
okay, cool.
yeah, they
Okay, so who tells you what look to give people? Do you get to come up with like the makeup design concept, or are you working with like a director? Does the director tell you what they should look like? How does that work?
Yeah. So if I'm the makeup department head, I work with the director. I will do, go through the script. I break down the script. A lot of it's continuity because you're not shooting a film in order. So but then I get with the actors and I get with the director because I ask the talent, like, who is your character? What do you see for your character? I want kind of their input too, because I'm like, who are you? Are you a mom who gets up and puts mascara on? Or are you a mom who's too tired that she's not going to fudge with it? And then that goes hand in hand with the director. I'll ask the director. Sometimes it's very specific characters. And then the director and I will have a conversation regarding what he expects of the character. If I'm an assistant, the makeup department head tells me what to do. If I'm in fashion, there's usually somebody who tells you on a fashion show exactly how to do the look. So it's just, again, very dependent on project. But yeah, so for film, especially, like I'm conversing with the director, I'm breaking down the script, and then also the talent and I have a conversation as well.
So when I took my like stage theater makeup class in college, we had a piece of paper that we kind of colored in to symbolize like what our character or human going to look like. Do you do that in the professional world too? How do you keep the looks together?
I'd like to say I do. I love it when artists do that. I think on larger projects, because I do a lot of made for TV movies. So it's me
Okay.
and so I think when you have a larger project and maybe you have like 20 makeup artists working underneath you, yes, like those things are made and labeled and put together per character because you never really know who's going to do whose makeup.
Right.
Um, but no, I don't. I've tried. I take pictures and I'll put notes in my phone, but I don't I do that for fun. I'll color little pictures and this and that, but no, I don't do it professionally.
Like you said, you take pictures and put notes on your phone. I think that's very like, yeah, like up to date modern way to do things versus kind of like, I guess, old school.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what is your favorite setting? I don't know if you can say, or like, or what do you there you do so much. So is it the fake scars that you like? Do you like the high glam for magazines? What really makes you sparkle?
Um, it's a very complex question because one of the reasons I love what I do is that
Yeah.
any day I can do one or the other. Like I could do an editorial high glam look, and then the next week I can be putting bruises on people. I do really love like the little minor special effects, whether it's like a cut or a black eye or a bloody nose, like little things like that. Just kind of are fun. Um, I don't know. It's forever changing, but I like minor special effects. Like I'm not doing big like monster mask things. Like that's not where I'm at. Um, I like glam, but I will say like that no makeup is probably one of my favorites. Like the goal is to be doing red carpet, a lot of red carpet, which is very soft, but yet, classic and glam and clean. So that's the goal. And that's what I love about California is a lot of people here um, want that clean, natural look. And so I think that's where I thrive is the no makeup.
When people are like, I could do makeup myself. I've been doing makeup since I was like 13. Why do I need to like, get or hire a makeup artist? What would you say to somebody?
Um, well, it's first off, it's the pressure is off of you.
Okay.
Um, sometimes we mess up our eyeliner, no matter how good you are at it. Sometimes it just isn't right. And then you're running out the door. And again, it goes back to like where I was saying people have insecurities. So you're going to go stand in front of a camera. You're already stressing that a camera is going to be in your face. And then you need these photos professionally for, headshots or whatever the reason is. And the last thing you need to worry about is like, is my eyeliner even? Or is my lipstick coming off? Usually, with these shoots, with my rates, come a couple hours of me staying for touch-ups. So then you also have like you're getting shiny, whatever it is. If the lighting, we understand lighting, we understand color theory. So whereas something might look good in your bathroom, you walk out and go into professional lighting, it's not going to look the same. Or even like I said, I don't like doing my own makeup. And sometimes when I do a full face and I'm like, oh, that's enough. And I walk outside and I'm like, there's barely anything on my face.
Yep.
It's the concept. Whereas if you're not really understanding studio makeup or what the camera is it's gonna disappear a lot on the camera. The camera sees a whole lot more than we see to the naked eye. So it just, it eliminates the pressure and then it ensures that like your investment of these photos are going to look good because why go spend $700 to have headshots and then you don't like any of them because your makeup doesn't even look like it's there. So it's just a little bit more to ensure that you're happy with your investment of having photos done or whatnot.
Okay, so let's say tomorrow you have to leave town to do somebody's makeup. What are you packing? What does that look like? How does that go?
Okay, so I've managed to get my kit into a backpack. So
Wow.
backpack then like works as a carry-on. So if I have to fly somewhere, I put, some of the liquids will go into their plastic little bag that you need for TSA. And it's pretty much set and ready to go. I've got it down to where I can do any skin tone in the world. A lot of that comes from knowing color theory and having all the primary colors so that no matter who's thrown in front of me, I can do the palest to the darkest skin tone. But yeah, my kit's just prepped. I have, skincare for if you're really oily or if you're really dry, and then everywhere in between. It's just, over the years, learning what works, editing out my kit, knowing what I reach for and what I don't touch, where I could get it down to a little backpack. And it's just a little bit of everything. I mean, I've got um, powders from the lightest to the darkest. It's knowing how to mix in between and find like that happy medium so that you can, you know, basically be available to anybody, whoever sits in your chair, whatever their needs are, you have it
Are you
set.
coming the day of, the day before, a couple days before? What is that looking like? When do you leave me? Are you leaving me that night? What are we doing?
Well, it depends. I mean, if I've been flown for weddings and I've
Okay.
shown up the morning of the rehearsal dinner, I'll do makeup for the rehearsal dinner, wake up, do the bridal party and the bride, go to bed, and then get my flight the next day. I've done films where I've been flown for film and they'll fly me in the day before. And then, you're set up for film. I have, of course, a whole lot more stuff when it comes to film. And then you fly
So
back.
wait, hold on. Wait, I got questions about the
Yeah.
film. So obviously for weddings you have to bring your own kit, but like when you're on television and film sets, even like magazines, do you have to provide your own like makeup?
Yes. But you get a kit fee. So they they pay you your day rate,
Okay.
and then they pay you on top of that a kit fee. So basically, they're paying for you to use your own makeup, just like
Okay.
they would pay a camera guy like a fee for bringing his camera or his lighting equipment, or you pay for the studio space. You're paying a kit fee for your artist when they bring their stuff. Um, but yeah, you provide it all. I mean, I bring my own light, I bring my own chair, I bring my own table, and I have my kit. And I even dabble in a little bit of hairstyling, so I've got some of that too. And it's a lot. I come with a lot of baggage. I have a
In the
wagon.
best way.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, so you provide it all. And then for film, it's so different because you might have to take dirt or bruises or sunscreen, or I have umbrellas if we have outdoor shooting and I need my talent to stay in the shade. I have fans. We did a Christmas movie when it was 110 degrees out in LA last summer, and they were all in like scarves, and I had ice down everybody's back, and I had fans for the actors, and I had even all the background. I brought paper plates, and they were all just fanning themselves. I mean, you have to be prepared for kind of everything when it comes to film versus when I'm going to a photo shoot and trying to just do beauty makeup. That's it. So it all has its different baggage, so to speak.
Do you ever miss being in front of the camera or on the stage?
I miss being on stage. I don't want to do what the talent does on film.
Okay.
It's a lot. I see it out of what goes into it, and I'm like, it's exhausting. I mean, because you don't know how many takes you're going to have to take. You also don't know what take they're going to pick for the film,
To
so it's all
use. That's
control.
so true.
So it's like this poor talent, no matter how hard they work, and like they might love the third take. It might be the most powerful one, but for whatever reason in the editing room, it doesn't work out. It's all out of your control. So I think I miss being on stage. I do miss like the adrenaline of going on stage, and whatever happens. There's no stopping in the middle of a show. So I have considered taking just some acting classes for the fun of it while I'm in LA. It's all here.
It's
um
all there.
yeah,
Everything is there for your choosing.
exactly. It's a great city to be in. Whatever I want to try, the city really has it for sure.
So you have no regrets packing up and finally making the big jump to LA.
Not at all. I love being here. And I will say, when I was moving here, and a lot of people are like, there's thousands of artists in LA and there's thousands of makeup artists. Like, how do you think you're going to make it? And I'm like, but of the thousands, only half of them have work ethic. And of that half talent. And of that half, they're respectful. And of that half, and it's like, and it dwindles down to where there's really only like 300, and I actually talked to a celebrity makeup artist once about it. And he goes, oh no, honey, there's less than 100 good artists, like makeup artists in the city. And if you look, a lot of celebrities share a lot of the same artist because they want privacy, and they want someone who's kind and talented. And like in this crazy world, you're not just there to be like, I'm doing so and such's makeup. Like, you're literally there because you enjoy it, and you know how to be um respectful and responsible, and do your job as well. So I'm really happy I'm here. I I've met a lot of makeup artists amongst the industry, because once you're in it, it does become very small, and they're just all incredible. I think when you're here, you understand that there are so many opportunities in a city like this, that there's no need for the competition. Um, but I also think it's good energy attracts good energy. So I've been very fortunate.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's just a good community of makeup artists. And I've been so fortunate so far. Everybody I've worked with has just been so lovely, and um it's been great. I'm really happy, to be here, and every day it changes.
Okay, so before we go, I was gonna ask you who is your biggest support system on those dark, dark days. I'm just gonna say your husband, because I want to know important is it to have a partner when you are following your dreams?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it is my husband, because he doesn't understand the art side of everything. He's a nurse. His brain works in a whole different way.
Yeah,
But got together, he's like, wherever you want to go, wherever you want to move, like, I'm here for you. And When we moved to LA, I've always had another job while building my makeup career. I've always been a nanny or I've always worked a retail job. And I'm loyal to a fault though, because if I commit to that nanny job or that retail job and a big opportunity comes up, I say no to the opportunity because I've already committed to something else. And he goes, I don't go into LA and committing to a nanny job or whatever and then missing out. He goes, we are going there for you to make it. And so it's just incredible. It's hard on me because I'm not working 24/7. I'm not.
Right,
Like
right.
that's the reality of it. Like you can go 2 months with work back to back and then you can go 2 months with nothing.
Mhm.
Um and so it's hard because like I want to constantly be like also providing for our family or like doing something. But he's incredible. He's yeah, definitely been very supportive, and it's important because if you don't have that kind of support, like like it's easy to give up. It really is. Like I every 3 to 6 months have a good cry and think, what else can I do with my life? Because this is really hard. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, there's nothing else I want to do with my life. And I'm fortunate to have somebody who's got my back and says, we will do what we have to do so you can make it. Yes. Whereas if you have, I mean, there's a lot of doubters, especially for artists.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, oh yeah, they're like, that's not a very consistent job, or you're not guaranteed to make it. And so there's a lot of negative naysayers out there, and you don't need that kind of negativity. You need somebody who sees it in you when you don't see it.
Yes. All right, you've given so many great life gems, but I have to ask you last words of wisdom for anybody watching this that's like, I want to be like you so bad. I just don't know. Like, what are your words of wisdom for a makeup artist or an aspiring makeup artist?
um all artists and makeup artists, like in this industry, patience and persistence. Like be
Right.
patient and keep pushing. Like just keep finding the job, keep reaching out to people, just be persistent, do what you love. A lot of the times if I'm not getting paid work, I'll ask people to come over and hey, let me create some content or just do some makeup. And you never know like what that connection could lead to. So it's just be patient, have a good cry every now and then. That is okay, we're all doing it. um
Yes.
and then just if you want it bad enough, like you're going to make it happen for yourself. Just keep persisting. Don't let the lows keep you down. Take a day, have a good cry, woe is me, and then just wake up the next day and keep going.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming on the show, giving us all these great life gems. Thank you for being an inspiration. Like, I love watching you kill it out here. It's been great. Do you want them to find you anywhere before we go?
I'm on Instagram at Jackie Merlau MUA. That's JackieMerlau MUA. And then on there I have my website that you could also check out if you'd like. And then feel free to reach out to me too if you're an up and coming makeup artist. Like I'm happy to give any advice or help anybody out.
Yes, guys, like always, you already know I'm going to put it right there in the bio. It's easy to access her, so it's all good. All right, thank you so much, Jackie Merlau. Love it. Love what you're doing. And you guys have been watching Talk to Me Tuesday. It's your girl, Anja. And make sure you like, subscribe, follow, follow, follow. And until next Tuesday, guys, bye.